Hello and welcome to another edition of the Footy Corner. This is a Premier League review show and preview show even. While you're here, can you please make sure you're hitting the like, subscribing to the channel and turning on the nice little dingly bell, and that will let you know that we're live. I'm Sparks and I'm joined tonight by Bez. Welcome in, Bez. How are we?
Good, thanks. Trying to get almost in mindset ready for the game. On to Sunday, here we come.
Yeah, fair. Well, we got to go through the other fixtures first, and then we come back to our game. So it's not all we cover on the channel, as you know, but yeah, we try to be a bit more diverse. But I'm not sure how long we'll spend on other games, and as there's only two of us, so let's see how things go. But welcome in everybody that's watching, and yeah, hopefully you're liking and subscribing and hitting the bell. First of all, Bears, the fixtures for game week 4. Quite a few that stand out on this list. Obviously, the first one, Southampton, Man United. How do you see that one going?
Well, knowing Southampton, no one just came up. I think right now they look almost back to old selves. But I think 30 days, yes, because for them, I think it's kind of like a rebuild, regeneration of a new team. Because obviously when they went down and how it happened wasn't nice for their fan base, I'm sure. United a bit, as you know, old rival, old enemy. They're a bit like Marmite right now, up and down. Brighton beat them on the last game, if I'm correct, on the last minute. They look fragile. They look shaky. Let's put it that way. I'm a football fan as well, so I'll speak the truth. But yeah, who knows? That's a bit of a mismatch, but who knows what will happen.
Do you see it being easy for Man United, or do you see it being a bit of a struggle, or you think they're getting
a bit of both, really? You know, bit of both. Because knowing them, as excuse me, the defense a bit fragile. Knowing them, how I think we saw towards the end of last season, they tend to lose focus quite quickly. Like especially with the crosses. I know Southampton just lost Chad Adams. I think he got sold, which surprisingly.
Yeah.
So I think Southampton might be a surprise package again. We don't know.
Yeah, if you had to put your life on a scoreline, what would it be?
Just this first thing in my mind, 2-1 Southampton.
Oh, you think that's it'd be that bad that Southampton get a win?
They might just nick it.
Okay. I mean, I did a prediction on my TikTok last night, and I predicted Man United to win 3-1. But I had a lot of people, mainly Man United fans, coming in my live going, "There's no way we're going to have it that easy at St Mary's." And it's obviously a place we've struggled with as well. Not an easy place to go. But surely a team of Man United's kind of caliber should be getting 3 points in that fixture, shouldn't they?
They can, but that said, you just don't know what their tactics, you know. Because I know the Tuchel manager likes to have a bit of a snooze fest. The goalkeeper sadly has his great days, has his bad days, has his crappy days, as we know.
Yeah.
So I speak again as a football fan, and anything can happen. But I just think something tells me that maybe Southampton might nick a result at the end.
Fair. Okay, so they have a reason to be worried, according to you. Okay, fine. But yeah, that's fair enough. I'm not saying I'm right or you're right. I'm just saying it's I just saw it that the United should be quite comfortable in winning that game, and I thought it was a bit strange them having a meltdown over it, but it appears, you think the same way as well. Okay, so the next game is Brighton Ipswich. What do you think with that one?
That definitely Brighton's winning that one. I'm sorry, Ipswich fans, but Brighton looks the real deal. How they started the season very strongly, 2 wins, a draw against us. Could have had a win against us, despite the certain certain officiating, which I won't go to right now, but
let's not.
good in Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue if we had to kind of go into things that that decision was kind of potentially right, but the fact that there were so many go after it that's what made it wrong, in my opinion. But there we go. Let's not dwell on that. I still think Rice was a bit stupid to do what he did, to be honest with you.
Yeah, fair play.
He didn't need to give the ref a decision to make, but there you go. Palace Leicester, how do you see that going? I agree with you on that one, by the way. I think Brighton are taking the points for that one.
Yeah, they look the real deal. Let's put it that way. So nothing will go past them, I think, until they did a little rock on the way somewhere.
Yeah.
Palace Leicester. I think again that's kind of another similar to United Southampton. I think knowing Leicester, they have Vardy, which is he's still dangerous in his late 30s, can produce a goal out of nothing. Palace do look solid. Hopefully they get Eddie Nketiah, trying to score again. It's a tough one, but maybe a draw between those two, I think, for me.
Yeah, I think I had Palace to beat Leicester 2-1, so it's still a tight game.
Yeah.
And Palace have to turn up at some point, I think, pretty soon for their own benefit, really, because they've not had the greatest of starts. Granted, they've had some difficult games, but just not the greatest of starts for them. Fulham West Ham, how do we see that one going?
Well,
it's not going to be box office, is it? That one.
It certainly will. I mean, I want our ex-Arsenal boys to do well, so I think Fulham might just nick it.
Or you think Fulham's going to beat West Ham?
Well, hoping Smith Rowe and Yobim have a little good understanding and just have a little kick around with the boys, as we like to say.
Who was it that started that little kick around with it? It was Tony, wasn't it?
Certain either Tony, now they're just going to Saudi Arabia, as we know.
Yeah, little kick around with the boys and a bit of bit of money on it, no doubt, as well.
Now he's splashing the cash down in the oil.
Mate, he can splash as much as he wants now, can't he? So there we go.
Certainly can.
Liverpool Forest is another one that I kind of got pelters for on my. I had that as a draw 2-2, by the way, Fulham West Ham. Liverpool, I got pelters for on my TikTok because all Liverpool fans are having this thing that saying that they're not going to concede ever, by all accounts. I don't know exactly where they're putting the parameters on that, but they're not going to concede for whatever reason. Do you think that's going to be a walkover for Liverpool, or do you think there's a fly in the ointment?
Simply be, as you said it, I think Forest look better prepared, better equipped this season from the way they started more resilient. I think I see a different Forest, Last year, sadly, some stuff didn't go that way. The point deduction kind of hurt them a little bit, even though they just stayed up. But yeah, I think I see Forest scoring against them, and bear in mind, I think Liverpool, I don't know how to say this. Before, we were led to believe Liverpool fans were supposed to feel sorry for them when they win the title, and then when they title, we're supposed to feel great about them. Something about Liverpool fans of late, I can have a little dig or two, but I don't feel sorry for them anymore. So simply I do want other teams to start beating them and keep the fan base a bit quiet.
Yeah, I'm still of the opinion that if we can't win the league, then they can win the league. I'm still of that opinion, just about. But it's starting to become very tiring now because they're not open to any criticism whatsoever, but they can criticize everybody else. Nobody can dare breathe anything in their direction. They've brought in Michael Edwards, who's supposed to settle the ship, that's supposed to, be the savior to settle a program. But then they expect us to think that they're in transition of bringing a new manager in and doing such like when they've basically brought in one player, granted a new manager. That's not transition, is it?
Not for me, it isn't. I exactly agree with you. It's not transition. You're making a reshufflement, yes, of something of the old guard.
Yeah, a
He was
reshuffle.
obviously
I say
Jurgen Klopp was a
reshuffle.
legend, yeah.
Yeah.
But as you say, there's one guy there, and I'll probably say his name at some point, maybe, but he's a Liverpool fan. I noticed he likes to criticize us a lot, yet somehow when we criticize him or his team, as you said, they're not there to take the criticism. Like, for God's sake, take the criticism, take the feedback, as we do, as Arsenal fans.
They can't do that. They don't seem to be able to do that anyway, do they? So, it's quite tiring actually, and I like watching some of the Liverpool fans and whatever on the pods and stuff, but even that is kind of it's waning on me a little bit, and they'll probably say the same about us, to be fair. But it's just it just gets so tiring that we bottled it, but they never bottled any of their title challenges or anything like that. It's just baffling to me.
I can give you a whole list of their bottles too. I mean, I know they're legendary club with lots of history, but they're bottled too. Yeah. Don't forget 2013, 2014. I mean, no one talks about it, do they, anymore? That's one example.
No, absolutely, and it's just ridiculous that gets forgotten about, but they can throw all the slander towards us, and that's perfectly fine.
We'll be ready for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same old, isn't it? At the end of the day, really. But there we go. So what scoreline do you think you go for the Liverpool Forest game?
Okay, in fairness to them, they'll win, but I think Forest will score. So maybe 3-1 Liverpool, I guess, being fair to them.
Okay, I went 4-1, and I still got penalties.
I mean, look, you can't please them, bro. You can't please the Liverpool fans. I mean, we can talk
4-1.
about it offline before I say anything, but you can't please them.
Yeah, I went 4-1, and I still got pelters for it.
Jesus
it's just crazy, man. I'm just like, what do you want from me? And then they're starting to call me delusional, I'm biased, and all this lot. I'm just like, I just predicted you to win 4-1.
What other Pillix? I'm sorry, because I'm not ready to give him any
what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with that? I don't really know. But yeah, it just gets a bit tiring, really. So we got Man City Brentford. What do we think is going to happen in that? Apart from Brentford are going to score. Brentford are going to score. Lead us all into anticipation of them winning, and then City put 3 in.
And that was exactly my thing as well.
Brentford we know the script,
give us hope a little bit. And the next thing City just turn up. And then here you go, guys, back to their normal services resumed,
Yeah, it's like the TV companies or the Premier League turn around into them and say, look, just give them a goal to start off with. And then, and then you might as well start the game 1-0 down, handicap yourselves, and then start playing, will you?
Or more like, with the obvious penalty, they give out those cheap penalties and that, here you go, take a penalty, here you go, that's for you, mate, take it.
Yeah, well that's because they've let one in, isn't it? That's like because they've been told to let one in. Here's a freebie back.
Oh god,
you made it entertaining. Thanks for that.
Do you remember that advert? Because I'm old enough to remember in Britain, he said for the windows. I said, you buy one and you get one free.
You buy one, you get one free. You buy
Jesus Christ, that was exactly what's City right now.
So what do you think the scoreline will be? 3-1? You think
3-1 as well? I'll go 3-1 as well.
Now the Aston Villa Everton one, I had down as a 2-1. What do you think of that?
That's a good one. I don't know if Villa fans start kicking me and you up the backside, because I know Villa fans will be like, oh, we're in the Champions League now. We're back in the big time, boys. Everton, sadly, I mean, I know Amran Broya from my country. He's still injured, sadly. I think Everton, sadly, I don't think they're going to start picking points just yet. Villa look stronger. correct me if I'm wrong. They have Andre Onana, if I'm saying that right, not to mix them between
Yeah.
the United goalkeeper one. Yeah, so I think Aston Villa will win definitely, but I don't think they'll win comfortably. But maybe another 3-1, maybe.
Yeah, I put down as a 2-1, but I don't think a 3-1's far off either. Though I do think Everton have to turn up at some point, and they're a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde side. So at some point they will they'll turn it on. I'm not sure it will be in this game, like you said, but I do think they will turn it on at some point.
And don't forget, Sean Dyche with his clause will come out eventually just before Halloween, as you know. So
yeah, it's a little bit.
I've got a feeling it'll be like X-Men, Wolverine, like, okay, we got back in the camp, boys.
Scratch his eyes out.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right?
But yeah, I have a feeling that Onana is going to be the signing of the season, to be honest.
He looks really good. I'm surprised Everton sold him to Villa just like that.
Well, I think it must have been some kind of agreement with the crossover of players before the whole time barring thing, that you do this and you make it easy for us to get an honor. There must have been some. It was far too easy, wasn't it, for that? But then they did need the money as well.
True.
But yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get pushed, especially with Braithwaite was getting pushed for 70-80 million, whatever it was, and Onana was a quite easy 50 million quid. That being said, Villa might be in the position where they can just go, here's the lump of cash, there you go.
Probably just easy clearance and just say bye.
Bargain basement. Bournemouth Chelsea. This is an interesting one. What are you saying on this one?
I read I'm gonna keep quiet about Chelsea. End of story, for now. But I just want Bournemouth to win. It's simple.
You want Bournemouth to win? I think it'd be more.
Yeah, but I guess since, as you know, we go a long way back with Chelsea instigators. We like to nitpick a few around with our bits, I just having another last laugh at Chelsea would be nice, till the end of the month.
I mean, we can't, we can't complain. We keep taking all their players now.
I know, right?
So they're like a feeder club now.
As long as they're good players, I don't mind. But I guess, I think it's just a team with no class. You can see how I even heard there's a boardroom now rift, apparently. I'm thinking, why is this sudden news coming out to the football fan? That should be kept private, right? Why is this happening in front of the public eye?
Well, the owners are obviously putting it out, aren't they, to get the backing of the fans, to say, I've got your back. They haven't got your back. They're saying we've got your back. He hasn't. That's what's going down. They're playing it in public to get public support to take the other one out. I think that's clearly what's going on for me, because it can't come from anywhere else. Nobody else is privy to that information. If they're in a boardroom or if they're in a restaurant or whatever, they're talking amongst themselves. There's no way there's anybody else involved apart from a lawyer, and a lawyer ain't spilling the beans on, over the internet, social media, anywhere. So at the end of the day, they have to be doing it themselves.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, since they're going downhill, I guess that team, the whole club as a whole unit is something.
Yeah, it seems
something not right. Something not right there.
if it doesn't end up in Europe this season, then I mean, at least next season, I don't know what it's going to do, to be honest, because I'm sure the model must rely on European competition. A club of that size, surely. And they're talking about new stadium and my God, I mean, how are they putting a new stadium up? It'd have two different designs.
Well, I remember, if I'm correctly saying, was it Battersea Power Station was supposed to be one of them, and then apparently it got rejected.
Well, it got rejected because they sold the land to the Malaysians, didn't they?
Good grief.
Yeah, but I reckon that was a ploy as well, because it was like, well, we'll push the price up by saying we want the land for something else. That's what that was about.
Man, I'm telling you now, Chelsea. I do despise Tottenham, but Chelsea alone. I mean, I have my uncle, and my cousin, who's Chelsea fans, but just as a whole team, just have no class whatsoever. There's nothing there left. Like not even a feather.
I don't really care about that so much. It's just that they propel their standards onto us now, and it's like, look at your club. Your club is in ruin, and you're telling us what our club should look like. Are you okay?
Well, they bought it all. As you know, they've all bought it all. And for me, they bought it all. That's what I'm going to say.
I just don't understand. And I saw somebody rival on basically saying, oh, if you don't win anything, then Arteta has to go, and this, that, and the other. And you're like, says you. I mean, I don't get the rival fans telling us when our manager should go, to be honest. We decide when he should go. It's down to us. If we're happy with the performances, then we kick up a fuss.
Which we do. We're known for that.
Well, exactly. We did that beforehand, before the Kronkers took over full time anyway.
And it worked wonders now in the end. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going for a 2-2 in that. What were you going for in that?
2-1 Bournemouth.
Okay. Is that heart talking or head?
That's a very good answer. Question to ask. Am I allowed to say both?
You can say both. You can say whatever you want.
I'll say both.
It's just a question. And obviously, we can talk about the Spurs and Arsenal one in depth in a second, but we'll do the end of the line first as we're here. Wolves, Newcastle. What we're saying with that?
I think Newcastle again look bit better equipped to Wolves, because Wolves again, sadly, I know Neto now is part of our family for the loan deal. I don't know much about the goalkeepers. I think Newcastle might win this by 2-3-0 probably for me.
Okay, I had 3-2 for this to Newcastle, and I got pelters for this as well.
Jesus, man, what's wrong with these people?
Oh yeah, so basically all the Newcastle fans saying that they can't score.
Sounds like Liverpool fans again, bro. 2.0. Liverpool 2.0. Mark my words, 2.0. Liverpool 2.0.
Yeah, it just seemed a little bit crazy for me, but there you go.
Jeez.
I also got pelters for this. I'm going to show you this. We're going to go on to the onto my combined 11, and let me know what you think of this.
I will. Right.
Bear in mind that these are all available, right? So at this time, Solanke wasn't starting, and Van de Ven wasn't proved to be starting. I wouldn't put Van de Ven in this side anyway. I would potentially put Solanke in and bring back Havertz. So there's
there's no one that I disagree with. I mean, those players speak for themselves. As you know, if they play Sunday, they play. But most players that speak for themselves, as you know, we'll talk about ours mostly, of course. But their players are in a God-given day when they're up for it. They are good players, but they're not our level, in my view.
I mean,
besides the obvious one, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if everybody's fit from our side, I think Udogie gets in and Son gets in, and that's
Definitely.
And that's purely from the basis that we haven't seen Sterling playing an Arsenal shirt. If Sterling plays well in an Arsenal shirt, he potentially gets in there. If Martinelli picks up his form, then he can potentially get in there. Trossard's done most of his stuff from the bench, so I don't really think he gets into that position either. I got people saying Porro should go in over Ben White.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben White overall is much better. I think attacking wise, Porro is probably better. But I think overall, I think Ben White he takes it.
He
I
does
still
because yeah, sorry.
go on.
No, he takes. I think Ben White just takes it because he's got that little bit of a mischief. We just love to have in a player. He's just like all around mischief. We just love to have
Yeah,
in an Arsenal team right now, which we need. And as you know,
yeah,
last season he nitpicked that Vicario's gloves. Beautiful stuff.
yeah. So everybody's saying that Vicario over Raya as well. So I've seen a lot of that, and it's like literally like they had to change the rules because he couldn't handle himself from corners.
Wow.
So basically, Ben White with his gloves, they've actually changed those rules now to accommodate him because he can't deal with it. And you're like, what? It just doesn't make any sense.
I
Doesn't
won't
make
use the
any
word
sense.
I won't use the P word, but I'll say he's definitely a chicken, man. I'm sorry. Be prepared to take it because he's known for his mental state of mind, but he is one chicken of a man. Besides, I'll say anything else right now, but he's definitely a chicken.
Yeah, I heard as well. Richarlison.
Okay.
Right. I heard somebody say on a podcast I was watching earlier on that his name's Richard. He's not called Richarlison. He's not Brazilian. His name's Richard because that's what he plays like. And I actually think that's really appropriate. That he doesn't play like a Brazilian at all. He actually plays like well, I don't know, but not like a Brazilian. You know, you
You know what's
associate
funny?
with some class and some
Yeah.
style, and none of that really associates with him, does it?
Well, I literally had Richard Judy pop in my head. I feel like saying, Richard, where's your
Not that
Judy then?
Richard.
Yeah, I literally had Richard in my head. Richard, to say, Richard, where's your Judy, mate?
Yeah. But that's a puppet. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was very appropriate. It was just like, well, he does play like that. He has no real adventure. The only adventure he really does is when he's throwing himself on the floor like like a bit of a diving queen.
Oh man, Tomiyasu, if I'm correct, was a few seasons ago. I think with the both on the sidelines as well. And I think Tomiyasu is like a samurai.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
that.
yeah. It was mental. So this is my essentially a predicted lineup that I also did. I did it about 5 days ago, and people told me that Jesus was injured, and I said I'm sure he's out for 11 days. Everybody was saying he was out for 2 months, and I was like, well, it was 22 days, and then it cut down to 11 days, and we got the news today that Jesus is available. So this is the predicted lineup I put down at that time. Knowing that Jesus is available, we don't know what's happening with Sterling. Is this a lineup that you could get behind, or would you like to see changes from it?
Just not that midfield is screaming. It needs. It needs. I know we've got a short midfield right now, but I did say last night. Well, I won't mind seeing Ethan Neri maybe starting. Nothing. I have nothing against Jesus. I'll swap him with Havertz. I'll put someone else behind Havertz instead, of course. It's tricky. Really, it's tricky with our team because we have now so much depth. We have so much. I said we have so much borders around the pitch in our club. It's like once it's fully fit squad, is like who do you pick or who do you throw there? You know who do you want there
Well,
more
I mean,
than
bear
anything?
in mind that obviously Timber will come in and reinforce that midfield, and one of Partey or Jorginho will push up a little bit. I would have
Yeah,
thought that that Timber would be like supporting behind rather than in front,
yeah.
to make up for the lack of pace from Jorginho. So that would be my guess. Certainly at the back, I think Calafiori is out for another week. I think was what was said today. So he's not an option, but he'd only had substitute performances anyway. So and I believe Timber played in both his international games as well. So you know, he's the one that kind of makes the sense, really. But yeah, so how would you have the front four then?
Okay, for me, if let's say we don't have Jesus, I'll put Havertz up there. I would have again nothing against Trossard or Martinelli. Me being brave, I'm thinking maybe Sterling on the left. Have possibly maybe what's his name? Maybe have Nelneri maybe up front, like in Odegaard's position, like more like a attacking midfielder. For me,
wouldn't it make more sense either Trossard on the left and Gabriel Martinelli up top with Havertz still in behind him, and then you've got Trossard as a sub either way. But
that could work.
If Sterling's available, then Sterling could do the left wing and Martinelli up top, or Trossard up top with Havertz in behind.
Well, the idea that what's his name? Put in Martinelli up front, yeah, because you got more of the pace, and then you got Havertz's physicality, which is very important now in this league.
Yeah,
and knowing him, he's a boss in that box, as we know.
Yeah, and it's not a million miles from his position. And Jorginho would essentially push up to Havertz's position anyway to kind of feed balls in with Timber in behind him, protecting that kind of space maybe that's in behind. So that's kind of where I was going.
No, I can see it. I can see it. You got that's as you said. You got the pace up front. You got the physical of Havertz. You got the pace on the wings. As long as that midfield somehow has a bit of a shield, of course, our defense, fingers crossed, is solid. Our defense, you know.
Yeah, I mean the only problem that is potential is that Gabriel kind of is caught between a rock and a hard place when he's kind of covering for Jorginho, maybe covering for Timber, and on the pivot sort of thing, he kind of loses control of things. He has done that a few times that I've seen at least. So he's got that out of his game mostly, but I think if it's going to happen, it'd be in a game like this where the midfield is quite bare. But I also think that if you compare this midfield now to what we played even 18 months ago, it's about the same level.
It is. It sure is. Just, without any question of shadow of a doubt. It is the same depth, shall we say, right?
Yeah. So we've just gone from our midfield 18 months ago being our starting midfield to being our dire straits midfield. So shouldn't we still be thinking that we're going to win quite comfortably?
I believe so. I mean, I said last night as well. I want Arteta to be ready to be offensively strong, defensively ready, as we say. Also, at the same time, I want it to be. We know how we used to have these managers back in the day. Be ready to have a trick up your sleeve. Say, maybe you see like Jorginho part of him personally has had a strong start to the season. Say, have Jorginho have a bit of a fatigue kicking in or whatever, maybe throw Nelneri after 15 minutes, give the kid a little break.
I think you're right. I think Nelneri comes on.
Yeah.
But I think it's too big a game to be starting him in. I think if you give away 2 early goals, you can be out of the game quite quickly. Whereas if you stay in the game for 70 minutes, maybe score a goal or 2, then it takes the pressure off bringing in Ethan, and makes it a little bit more comfortable for him, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I did predict 3-1 for us. I know people think you're a bit deluded, but me, knowing us, our resilience is there. I know our defense is solid. We have a great goalkeeper who not only commands a bit more from his defense. Attacking wise, we can't complain. We have good depth on the right side. We have a good, decent amount of bowlers in the left side. Despite, and I've said this earlier in the season as well when I did other podcasts, Martinelli sadly just lacks confidence. Everything else is there for him. He's got the pace.
Yeah, I agree. I
Just
agree.
lacks
Well,
that.
I don't think it's just that.
Yeah.
I think again, probably about 18 months ago, he used to play like he's playing now, and he basically played with his head down. He never really looked up. He just like run down an alley, and then kind of do a quick look up, quick decision, and then do something and nothing. And I think he's got that back. But this is what I think with Sterling as well. I actually think having a player like Sterling in there, that is his position. I actually think he can learn from him.
Hopefully.
I think he can learn from him. I think he can just give him a bit of because the one thing that Sterling's never been afraid to do is run at a man and try it. Yeah, and try and turn him inside out. So I think if he can pick up, tips from him how to be better at his job, as it were, then it makes it a doubly good loan deal for me.
Yeah, I mean, I did say as well. How can I say? Trossard, we know he does his thing, comes on, does his thing. Fair enough. We leave it there for Trossard. As you say, yeah, well, I think it would be a good teach for Martinelli how to do take-ons, but also be a bit more smart with your as you say, with his intelligence. I keep saying but with his intelligence, want to look up, want to be ready to pass the ball, because all that speed surely as well will tell him that is in his mind. Yes, I've got the creativity still there. And bear in mind, Martinelli had a good preseason as well. He didn't have a terrible preseason. He looked good in preseason. He looked lively as well. So he just needs a few goals and his assists, and I'm sure he'll be back to his old self. Surely, he's no other way. He's still very young.
Yeah, like you say, I think he's a confidence player, and I think he just needs to be, get that first one or two, and then he'll be away. So if we can utilize him as well as utilizing Sterling, I think we're kind of laughing. But so what are your thoughts on Sterling? If Sterling's available, we obviously don't know the position of his fitness and such like, do you actually play him? Do you actually go for broke and actually play him against Tottenham? Sorry, Ice has just come in.
That's fine.
Hello, I'm on my phone, and I can only stay for about 15 minutes, but I didn't want to not pop on.
No, it's good. It's good. We'll wrap up in the 15 minutes anyway. So it's just
Cool. What are we talking about?
So we were just talking about obviously the game on Sunday.
Yeah.
And basically saying if Sterling is actually available, if he's proved to be fit and whatnot, do we actually start him, or do we stick with the old faithful, as it were?
I wouldn't start him. I would start Martinelli, because I think if they think we're playing the same formation of getting rid of rotating Martinelli and Trossard, I think that they will build their squad around that. Because I don't think they're actually that concerned about our midfield being the way that it is. I think they're more concerned about our firepower up front. And I think they know that set pieces are a danger, and I equally think they know that they won't get past our, like, we've got a very solid defence. they've got Song that can do a couple of dodgy things up front, but ultimately I don't think they've got much strength. So they're relying on us either making a mistake or them or us not getting past their defence, which I can't see happening.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that our midfield now is probably what it used to be like 18 months ago. So our reserve midfield now is our 18 months ago midfield. So we now have a new starting midfield and an upgraded midfield, and we've just gone back to what it was 18 months ago.
Yeah, I don't thing is I'm not worried, but it's really weird. I was on a load of shows last night with Bez, funny enough, and I said continuously I thought the score on Sunday is going to be 3-1. But I think that they're going to score first in the first 10 minutes because we're going to be really nervous. We're going to be concerned about how they've sussed us out. We are going to miss Rice. There's no point in even denying it. I think it's going to be a silly mistake. And then they're going to turn around and go, what are we doing? We're the Arsenal. Like, what are we playing at? And then I think they're just going to tear them apart. I just got this gut instinct it's going to happen. How many times have you watched them in the first 10, 15 minutes of a game, a big game, and you've gone, keep it together, lads. Why are you passing back? Don't be so nervous. Take the shot. Why are you passing it over there? We've all screamed it at the TV or screamed it in the ground when we've seen big games like that for 15 minutes. They have this weird thing of panicking, really panicking, and then they just settle.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and I just kind of sort of said the same thing. It wasn't quite on that basis, but very similar thing where Timber will come into the midfield basically to support the midfield, and Gabriel, although he's ironed most of his mistakes out, he'll probably have one of those mistakes where he struggles to turn, and that causes a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they necessarily score from it, but it takes something like that to kind of wake us up to go, right, okay, let's get in the game now. And so I on one hand, I kind of think that. On another hand, I think that I'd like to think that we're a bit more composed and a little bit more mature, that actually doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the mind games Arteta was playing with the press conference today when he was asked would they debut any of the youngsters, and he actually said if we needed them. Like, he was quite. What you could take that one or two ways. You could take it that he's concerned about the midfield, or you could take it him playing mind games with Tottenham, saying, "Do you know what? You are so crap. Our kids could beat you."
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a bit of a red rag, and I think that's probably not the best precedent. We want to be taking it fully seriously, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
I agree.
And I think that starting Guarneri, I think it's too much pressure on the guy for a start off, and it's a bit of bait, for Spurs. So I think we refrain from that, and then we stay in the game 65 minutes or so, and normally 67 minutes, isn't it? Subs happen.
Yeah.
So and then he comes on and gives somebody a break. So
Yeah, that actually, I said that last night. I said what I'd like to see in an ideal world, we're about 3-0 up with 10 minutes to go, and they put him on because his pressure's going to be off, but he's a Hale End boy, and he wants to. This is a North London derby. He's got something to prove. They have it drilled in them from a very early age how important the North London derby is. So I 100% would put him on so he can have a feel of it, get a taste for it, do his bit, but ultimately not that he's going to be put in the way of making any proper decisions. Because I think
yeah,
putting that pressure on a kid, look, at the end of the day, it's all right people saying, Well, Xhaka done it at 17. Xhaka also missed a penalty at 17, and we know the backlash that got. And don't tell me, because any Arsenal fan that tells me they don't, I'm sorry, I don't believe them. Every time for England or Arsenal, he steps up to take a penalty, there is a bit inside your gut that flutters. There is, even now, right? So I feel like you can't always put these kids through that at such an early age, and it makes such an impact because it can do the opposite thing. Not everybody is a Xhaka.
To be honest with you, I've only just started watching penalties.
Really?
Yeah, I can't watch them.
Yeah, I don't do very
We've
well.
missed so many. We've lost so many shootouts in well, not necessarily so many, but yeah, we haven't done well in them.
No,
So,
and so that's what I'm saying. So you know exactly what I'm saying. I
oh
think
yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
So I don't know. Is Bez there, or we shut him up?
I'm still here, but
Yeah.
I've got blackout. If you can hear me, I've got blackout in here.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. He's
If
like,
it helps, I've got this on, but it's gonna not help at all.
yeah.
I feel like in a freaking horror show somewhere.
Did you not pay the bill?
Well, we just paid the other day. I don't know. All the city has lights. It's just my bit has no lights anywhere.
You got
Maybe
to
it's a
talk
sign.
next
Hey, maybe
door.
it's a sign from God for Sunday. I don't know. Tell me to shut
Yeah.
up.
Do you know
Shut
what?
up.
It's really funny. When I lived with my parents, because they were literally 5 minutes from a hospital, we
Yeah.
never ever had a power cut.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're on the same circuit and they have a special backup things, don't they?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the further away from London I moved, we're not that close to a hospital here. I mean, and then it just you can have them at any moment. To be fair, the further out in the country you get, so I do get it. But yeah, back to the football. I don't know. I mean, do you know what? It's really weird. I know I'm probably in the minority when I say this, but I feel like even if Erdegaard is fit for the weekend, I don't think I'd play him because I'd rather that he was fighting fit for the City game. I'd rather that he wasn't put at risk this weekend because it could make it worse. It could aggravate whatever it is.
Wouldn't you like it that there isn't an injury at all, though, and there's by some magic, he actually just turns up?
I'd love it. Yeah, I'd love it. Absolutely, I would.
Kevin Keegan.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Do you know I keep doing that, right? It's quite funny. I keep going, yeah,
I
I love
like it though. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
Do you know I've got an Arsene Wenger quote up in my classroom, right? The one that I don't make superstar. I don't make
When I
superstars.
used to do the show, yeah.
Yeah. I don't make superstars. I don't buy. Was it?
I
I
don't
don't
buy
make.
superstars, I make them.
Yeah, that's the one. And the
Yeah.
kids go to me, Miss, why have you got that quote up in here? I mean, it's a classroom. I go, because I don't necessarily, you lot don't walk in my class historians, but you'll walk out them. And they go, ooh. And then I do get some kids now, which makes me feel really bloody old. Who's Arsene Wenger? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
oh, yeah.
Go away and never come back.
Yeah.
Spawns of
Yeah.
Satan.
Yeah. Yeah. Go and do some research and come back for the next class. That's your homework.
Yeah, I mean, they've allowed in my school. We've got a really good community atmosphere, and they've let the last year the GCSE years and the sixth formers all have a fantasy football league together
Yeah,
with the teachers. And the amount of kids that come up to me in the corridor is so funny. You know, in Fever Pitch, where the kids go up to Colin Firth's character and go,
Yeah.
"You're going to lose today, sir," right? The amount of kids that come up to me on a Monday go, "Miss, your team's crap." Like, well,
Oh, yeah.
one of the boys in my class, he's like going around doing the big Billy bit, and he's going about his fantasy football team. And I go to him, mate, you've spent all your money on Haaland, and he gets triple points because when he's a captain, of course you're going to be right above everybody else. You literally banked I think it's like 15 million on fantasy football, and you only get I think you only get a budget of 40. He's sunk his whole like 45% of his budget into Haaland.
I mean,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair.
But I don't know. I think back to what you're saying. I think Erdegaard. I don't think he will play at the weekend. I don't
think he will, but I'm just
No.
saying that obviously for the banter, for the we pulled the wool over your eyes sort of thing.
That would be fun.
It would
Yeah,
be funny, wouldn't it? But
that would be fun.
I can't see it happening.
No.
I just think it'd be hilarious that everybody's gone, oh yeah, we're going to beat you with this 11, and it's completely different 11 because Odegaard's there.
Yeah, and I think Jesus coming back has been. I think it's a bit of a boost for some people. He's now apparently going to be back at the weekend. So
Yeah, this was my team prediction 5 days ago.
yeah, I'd say that's a pretty sound. I just feel really lucky at the moment. Like I was saying this to Bez yesterday. Really, I had the fact that the euphoria of getting Lincoln Park tickets, which is why I haven't been thinking
Oh, yeah,
about.
congratulations getting them, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, oh God, yeah, I can't even tell you how excited I am. I am, but
2 reasons.
but my cousin phoned me up today because I'm going with her, and she was like, oh my God. I went, what? She went, the stage is in the middle, right? They've moved that on the seating plan. The stage is in the middle, and where we're sitting is right on the middle of the O2.
Oh
So
man.
so it's like it's just it's absolutely mental. So I'm so excited. I never saw them when I was younger because I had epilepsy, so I could never go to them sort of gigs. And then obviously the lead singer passes away, and then they do this, and I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe when we got them. And one of my mates at work came up to me today, and he went, yeah, I'm not going. I went, why is that? He turned his phone round. He was 86,000 in the queue. I was like, the O2 doesn't even hold 86,000 people. He's like, yeah, I'm not going. So I've had that to distract me from the North London derby, which I'm really thankful for, because normally I get a little bit tetchy when it gets to big games like this, especially City, and
Yeah.
so having something to distract me is very nice. But yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna have a weird couple of weeks then, aren't you?
Yeah, I know it's gonna be really. It's gonna be actually because we've got. When have we got City? What's the date we've got City?
Well, it's next week, isn't it? But
It's away though, isn't it? Now I'm thinking.
oh yeah, it's definitely away.
It's away because the next home game's Leicester, isn't it? Is that right? I'm sure the next home game's Leicester.
That's a very good question.
I'm checking right now as well.
I'm sure it's Leicester.
It's a very good question. You think you're right, actually. Yes.
We're Bolton end of the month in the League Cup as well.
Yeah. I was going to that, but I'm not now. But because when I went through they do this whole big thing about tickets from £10, and when you log on, if you have your own seat, my seats were £50. And I was like, for Carabao Cup tickets, I don't think so. I know that sounds really bad. I shouldn't be saying that about good old Arsenal on a live stream, but I do think that's a bit much for a first round.
I think if you you have to be within the threshold. If you're outside the threshold, you have to buy a ticket.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So basically, you had until Monday to reserve your seat at 30. You're upper tier, are you?
Yeah.
So it used to be £10 and £20, and it's now £20 and £30. So your upper tier ticket will cost you £30, but you had until from Friday afternoon until Monday lunchtime to reserve your seat. If you then go into it and then try and buy your seat through buying a ticket, then it's full price.
Gee, see,
what the heck is this?
Do you know what? The app, I have to say, if anyone out there is listening that works for Arsenal, can you please get Arsenal Football Club to sort out their bloody app? Because how many times I've used this app, it's meant to be the official Arsenal app, and other apps give me the scores or give me updates quicker than that app does. And half the time it doesn't work for things. It's like the other day when Arteta signed his contract. I got it on the notification on BBC Sport 4 hours before the official Arsenal app gave it to me.
It wasn't announced on Arsenal, was it? It wasn't announced straight away. I think I got an email saying it had happened before it was announced.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
How does the email come first?
Don't know. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like sort the app out. I've been in the ground before, and that app has come up with the wrong score. And I'm sat watching the game. Have you ever noticed it when they do the updates in the 3 o'clock in the morning? You'll get some weird. Arsenal have gone 1-0 up against Everton. Have they? They're playing now.
I don't think they have.
No.
I want the fucker that's in my seat out of it. If that's the case.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I think it is gonna be a very interesting couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And you obviously touched on it there, but what are our thoughts on the Arteta contract extension?
I think it's amazing, and I don't think it was. I don't think it wasn't well planned. City started their court case yesterday. He signed his contract yesterday. Look, we can all believe that these things don't happen for a reason, but the more I'm thinking about it, I don't think that was an accident. Arteta wants to tell us as fans, he wants to tell his players, and he wants to tell the the people in the board that see his plan. He's not going anywhere, because when Pep leaves at the end of the summer, and ultimately he will, is my personal opinion, there's only one person they're going to go after, and I really do believe they'd go after Arteta if his contract wasn't finalised. He knows City. He knows the way they play. They like what he's doing at Arsenal. Pep is always bigging him up on what he does at Arsenal. So I think the fact that we secured him is a big thing.
Would it not rely on him actually winning something first, though? What, as in a club like City, surely would require him to have won something in the meantime, wouldn't they?
I don't know, actually, because I know I'm going to get some real hate for saying this, right?
I'm
But
going to get hate for asking the question, so there you go.
I'd love to see Pep Guardiola do with Brentford what he's done with City. And I reckon that if Arteta went there with the untapped resources and the system that's in place, he would be able to do what Pep has done as well. The real test of a manager is if you can take a team from nothing. We've all played Football Manager, we know that, right? But I don't know, him, Mourinho, they've always been two managers. I thought, go and manage a lower league club and get them all the way to the Premier League, and let's see how good you are. Maybe that's harsh. I don't know.
I mean, Mourinho has done it later in his career, to be fair to him. So he has won things at, I believe he won trophies at Roma as well.
Yeah, he did. But I just feel like, and to me, the proof in that pudding was watching the Euros. All of these fantastic players that play like a well-oiled machine at City, because there's obviously a game plan and there is a way that they do that.
Yeah.
It's almost like a chemical formula to it.
Yeah,
You
the
slot them
Fodens,
in.
whatever.
Yeah, you slot them into other teams, they look quite average. I mean, until he really got his groove, Foden didn't look anything special again with England. He really didn't.
I think he had a poor tournament. He completely had a poor
Yeah.
tournament. Now, granted that's partially on Southgate and the system that he's playing, but you have to kind of, find a way to stamp your authority on it if you're kind of if you're in that position, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I am being a bit harsh on Pep, but I do think it's really easy to say he's the best manager in the world when he's actually managing a team that's got so much money, so much skill, and just so much behind it. I mean, you and I could probably have a pretty good stab at it.
Yeah, but I mean, as a coach, I think it's probably second to none, really. But
maybe I'm being harsh.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not many coaches that can just move country and just do the same thing. Now, I completely hear you with the budget and such like, but yeah, I'm not convinced that City win what they win without Pep.
And the flip side of that, I suppose, is look at Chelsea. They've got untapped resources and they just keep buying everyone, and it doesn't work.
Well, yeah, we know why that is now, though, because there's two different business plans.
Who gives 10-year contracts? Another boy signed today. They were really proud. They went.
It was Jackson, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they're like, he's going to be with us till 2033.
2033. I'll probably be dead by then.
I was going to say, can you commit to that sort of thing? Right? It's really worrying, actually.
I'll probably be done. I definitely won't have any colour in my hair. That's definitely
Listen,
not a fact.
I started going grey when I was 17, thanks to my dad. I've been dyeing it ever since. So I'll just join the party. It's fine.
I have thought about it, I have to say. But
well, mine just started now in my early 30s, so think about it now.
Yeah, well, I'm way past that, mate. Absolutely.
You don't polish unless you're gonna be a silver fox.
I mean, Yeah, not sure. Anyway, but yeah, whilst we're going on about budget and such like, and obviously 2 starting 11s, I stumbled across this in the middle of the week.
Oh, let's have a look. Wage bills for top Premier League clubs. Oh,
This is last year's wage bill.
Interesting.
wow. 79% turnover.
For Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't forget from Chelsea's point of view that they're selling high retention players and getting them on smaller wages and spreading that over a longer term. So that for me is a little bit misleading, but it's still very dangerous being that close, especially as next year there's a new set of rules coming in. But I mean, even the Arsenal wage bill there, 234 million, and then you've got Liverpool that are on 373, and Man City up there on almost double. Well, 210 million more.
See, this is, to me, I look at that and I go, Arsenal is being very, very clever. And I think they've got a very good team of lawyers, a very good PR machine there, because I think they always think ahead. The people don't really know what goes on behind the scenes, but I always get the vibe that Arsenal is a club that thinks its decisions through. And I think if you look at that percentage of 51%, I think they're very clever in keeping the books totally balanced, keeping everything running the way it should do, not going mad with situations like that, because they know that this the financial fair play stuff is, it's going to try to attack every club. It's going to be like the Spanish Inquisition. It's going to go everywhere, right? And I think that they play these things very carefully because they don't want to get caught up in it. We like, even down to how they approach players. They have a very strict regimen on how they approach players. And I think that there's something to be commended in that, actually.
Well, they follow the rules. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it's not too much to ask, is it?
No, of course not.
I don't think so. But obviously, I do think that we have standards in that department, and we try to run it as clean as it possibly can be run. And so I do think that they've got to be commended by that, but also to be 200 million pounds on a yearly wage budget. It is just crazy to me. So to think that you're trying to compete with that, because our income is nowhere near the level of what their income is.
No, I mean, I was told once, I don't know how true this figure is, and I don't know if it's changed, but I was told about 10 years ago that on average the club makes £3 million in the stadium on match days.
Yeah, it's I think that's quite recent, actually, the 3 million gate thing.
But what if that is profit? Because it's probably 20% is profit, which means if you look at the actual revenue, the club has to be smart the way it makes money. It's like, this is going to sound really silly, but bear with me. Yesterday when I was on that stream, I was talking about Win the dog, right? In fact, I'm staring at my cuddly version of Win right now. And and
we can see you holding him.
Yeah, actually, yeah, on the picture. So she's I actually realised recently she's a she as well, not a he. I keep saying he. It's a girl dog. They obviously have this whole back room ethos with the dog and what they do and how it's meant to build the team. But it's also a very clever marketing tactic, because what do? They bring out a cuddly toy version, and saps like me and predominantly most people under the age of 16 want one. And they're £25 each. And a woman in the Arsenal shop told me they cannot put them on the shelves quick enough. They fly. Them and the Gunnosaurus are two of the top things that are sold in the Arsenal shop, apart from shirts.
Well, you're feeding the dog, so don't worry. That's what you do.
Yeah, feed the beast. But it's good. But it's good marketing, and it also means
Yeah.
that it's revenue you can bring in the club. I mean, our programs. Great examples. Our programs have hardly gone up in about 10 years.
That's because nobody buys them then anymore.
Oh, I do. I think.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
sometimes.
I used to be religious buying them, and I just thought I got boxes, like boxes and boxes full of them, and one of them I was carrying, it was so heavy and it fell apart, and I was just like, yeah, no more.
Do you know what I do with mine? I get them to put up on my little thing when I do my live stream. I always have in the background the most recent one,
Yeah,
and then I take them down, and then I will keep the ones that a game that means something to me. But I take them into school, and I look. I know so much about the kids I teach because conversations I have with them. So I know that so and so who I'm teaching tomorrow is a Brentford fan, or there's a Tottenham fan, or whatever. And what I do is I look for kids on my register that have done really well that week. And I send their parents an email saying, I just want to let you know, I'm sending your child home with this today because they've done really well in my lessons. And because everybody knows what I'm football mad,
yeah,
I will literally give kids just my old programs. I will. I was in the game, and I had 2 cups in my hand, and I went to return them. The Camden for cups. And
yeah,
I got talking to the steward, and I was saying, "Oh, I said there's kids at my school. They'd love one of these, but we're not allowed to take them." And he went, "Have a nice day." And I went, "What do you mean?" He went, "Have a nice day." And he basically told me, "Take the cups home."
yeah,
So I took the cups home and gave them to these 2 kids who mum and dad don't earn a huge amount of money, and they will never be able to afford to take them to a game.
yeah.
So I took them a program each and a cup and gave it to them.
This
And
is why where people insult people that go to games, or don't go to games, or they're commenting or trying to get feedback and stuff from social media because they're never going to see a game.
no,
Some people are in that particular part of the world because it's an international sport. The social media has done one thing, and that's kind of connected everything.
yeah,
And I get people contact me most days that just like, can you send me pictures of this, can you do me this, and can
yeah.
and I'm just like, yeah, of course. I mean, what's he gonna do? It take 2 seconds out of my life to send a message. So yeah.
No, I totally agree. It's like I've got a really good friend who's a historian, and her dad, she's French, and her dad is a massive Arsenal fan, but he lives in Paris. And she brought out one of her books. It was really weird. She brought out one of her books on like Henry VIII, and it was about his second wife, Anne Boleyn. I am going somewhere with this. The last game of the season was the date of her execution, May the 19th. That morning, I took her book and I took it to the Emirates, and I was stood next to a steward, and I had a picture of the steward holding her book taken with the Emirates in the background inside the grounds.
Yeah.
And I sent it to her, and she was so happy. She was like, "I'm going to show this to my dad. It's like my life's come full circle. There's 2 big things in like that, and it's just lovely to be able to. It didn't cost me anything. The book was mine. I didn't go and buy it just to take that picture, and it's just so nice to give these people a little bit of joy in what it is. Like, I love giving these kids these programs, because even when we beat Chelsea 5-0, I gave one of the boys went to me, "Miss, will you get me a program?" I said, "I'll get you a program." He's a Chelsea fan. And I saw him the next morning. I had it in my hand, and I went, "I'm guessing you don't want this." And he went, "No, I do." And I went, "Really?" He went, "Yeah." He said, "It's still got Chelsea on it. It's still my club." And I was like, "Wow, you're a bigger man than I could ever be." Because I'm not sure I'd have that if the score was the other way
Yeah,
around.
yeah, definitely not. Yeah, they might just want to deface it. Welcome back, Bez. You got
Hello,
the
he's back again.
Yeah,
the
electricity back and running from my horizon
Yeah.
somewhere.
yeah, paid the bill. I just want to say, just quickly with the chat, I completely missed the chat, but there you go. Yeah, nice to see you, Richard. How are
Evening.
we? And King Kai Kensington, basically thinks the season will be dusted by Christmas.
No, it can't be. Look, at Christmas, I know it's a very different football. I know the plane of football is a very different landscape now to when we won one of the doubles that we did. But the bottom line is, when at Christmas, Man United were 11 points clear, and we beat them to win the league that year. And I know you can say that was a totally different Arsenal and that's a totally different United, fair enough. But things like that still happen regardless of who the teams are. The mathematical equations of that can still happen. To say a league is over by Christmas when you'll play till May for another 5 months, I just don't. Look, Haaland didn't have any internationals in the summer, right? He was raring to go. He's been banging in the goals, and let's not forget the teams that they've played, City are going to find it quite easy to beat them. And that's not taking anything away from the teams they are. It's simply saying that, let's face it, how powerful they are. We are the second best team in the country, arguably, at the moment, and we are still nervous going into a game against City. How do you think Ipswich and West Ham feel? And again, that's no detriment to a West Ham or Ipswich fan. I'm sure if they're honest and looked at their team sheet and looked at City's, they'd say the same thing. But at the end of the day, to say that a season's over by Christmas, you can't do that at all.
Yeah, I think it's quite mad. I think it's just I've heard people that basically saying that we lose to Spurs and we lose to City and the season's over. There's no chance of a title and whatever. And I think that's nonsense as well.
Of course it is.
There's plenty of a way to go, and we didn't win the league by 2 points last year, and
how many games did we lose? Stupid ones. West Ham, Fulham, games we shouldn't have lost. Villa. And Villa, exactly. Villa twice.
And we've already turned one of those around.
Yeah.
So, and it's away as well. So we've already answered another question, as it were.
Yep.
So I still think that you can pick up points. Will City be better than they were last season? Maybe there's potential for that, but we can just do what we can do, and
I agree.
Keep hoping that we that they slip up, and just worry about ourselves. Really,
that's all you can do. I mean, I think that was our problem. They always say, don't they? And Wenger used to say, you keep your eye on your own team and you play each game as it comes. That was how we lost the league last year. We got into a mentality against Villa that because Liverpool lost, we had it in the bag. And we should have all been smart and known Liverpool were not the competitors. City was sitting there hiding in the wings, and we should have known that. I've said it so many times on streams, even on this one. They were playing Celebration through the DJ in the Arsenal shop when Liverpool lost. You go into it with that mentality. Of course, you're going to end up eating humble pie. It's obvious it's going to be the situation.
I don't really agree with that. Celebrating somebody else, you celebrate yourselves. I also find it really weird, and I keep seeing it everywhere. Where and I don't know about you guys if you feel the same, but where people keep saying you win the Premier League, but your rivals win the Champions League, and it's like, but is that realistically going to happen? Purely because they're not even in the Champions League to start off with. So I want to win the league this season. So, well, your hypothetical is not possible for a start off.
No.
And even if it was, I want my team to win.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about the other team at all. I'm not even posing the question. Oh yeah, I want to win the title, but not if they win. If they win something, something that's not possible to win.
And you know what? That's how my brain is so not with this, is because when you said your rivals, my brain automatically went to either Man United or Man City, because I don't see Spurs as a rival, because I don't think you can put them in the same category as us. That's why we're like the derbies. Oh yeah, okay, the derby's the derby because they're the closest team to you geographically. but I don't see them as our rivals. And I don't think I've ever seen them as our rivals, to be honest. Because when I was growing up, it was Liverpool. When I was in my teens to early 20s and we had like the Invincibles, it was Man United. Then I think I saw it was really, the one that snapped at the heels was Chelsea when I was, in my it was all adult years and going to work, whatever. And now it's been City. I've never really considered Spurs to be in there. So I, and I just think I hate this whole mentality. It's like someone had to remind me the other day who they played in the Champions League. I couldn't care less, like who they played in the final. And all right, we'd never hear the end of it if they won it. But equally, so like I think it's really boring, to be honest.
That saved me a lot of time, that final.
Why did it save you a lot of time?
Because when they scored in like 25 seconds or whatever it was, I was just like, yep, seen it, done it. And they're going to bottle that. Thank you very much. Turn it off.
Yeah, well, yeah, when you say it like that, that's 100% true. It's just I don't know. I just don't see. I will obviously, the only reason I even care about this game this weekend, two reasons. One, it's Arsenal. We need the points. That's my team. I never like to see them lose. But two, it's actually more the earache Spurs fans are going to give me than me being upset about a lose, because they will treat this like they've won the league. That's the most weird thing about it. Their obsession is let's beat Arsenal. Their obsession isn't even let's win every game to try and get fourth place in Champions League. They'd be quite happy, Spurs fans, if they finished 10th, but they beat us twice this season. To them, that's an achievement this season. That's how narrow-minded their fan base is. And Postecoglou saw it himself. And that is why I reckon he nearly walked out last season. They've offered him something very special to keep him, because the face of that man was not someone that wanted to stay after that City game.
Do you agree with that, Bez?
I completely agree. Because simply you tell me right now, which was a football fan, you have City playing you, without question, a strong team, despite their shenanigans, shall we say. But here now, let's say they play you, as me and Asha alluded to last night. Why would you celebrate another team's goal to make your rival suffers, your neighbor basically, and you're celebrating a City goal? I mean, let me saying to you right now, I live close to Millwall. Let me support Millwall, but not back up maybe West Ham. No, I'm sorry, I'm not back up West Ham. I want to pick up Millwall, because you all know Millwall. They're not the best fans of the world, sadly. I don't get a bit slate for it, but sadly I'll pick West Ham, or I'll pick Charlton, or maybe definitely Crystal Palace, because I have a bit of a, well, I would say soft spot anymore, but I used to for a bit. But then I realized, it's like the manager. I'm glad Walla by Ange, not that I'm a big fan of, sorry, Ange. I'm Walla by him. He speaks as a man, not as a football manager. Like me saying, why do you behave in this way to celebrate another rival team's goal? Like what makes you think that's basically right? And then even the pitch last year when he pointed the fan, what are you doing? He's like, the fans were like, whoa. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you lucky to have a manager who actually has some common sense. Even Pochettino. I'm not gonna lie, when he managed Tottenham, I actually liked him. But then I realized I hated Tottenham even more. But the manager was actually nice. He never had anything bad to say about Arsenal. He never said anything horrible. He got on with the job fine. As Aisha said, Wenger had that legacy which he says, focus on your own game, focus on your own team, do your thing, take one game at a time. Even now, right now, even for Sunday, I'm looking forward to it. I'm taking one game at a time. Of course, it was City back on my mind, but at the same time, is the best thing to do is, as a football fan as well, as a whole rounder, you clearly focus your own game. Same as the table. Well, why would you look over your shoulder when you got maybe a whole, maybe as the person said in the chat, Christmas, and by Christmas the league will be done and dusted. We've all seen it. This league is unpredictable. This league still throws surprises. This league will give you shocks. City will get surely a knock on the door at some point by a certain club. As we know, for example, Brighton is strong. There's other teams too. As eventually they'll realize the City. I'm sorry to say this, and I'll say it now without ranting, but City will eventually get something kick up their backside, meaning they will not stand for it. To see them, okay, succeed and bite it all. It feels like Chelsea over again in the mid 2000s, which I was like, you kind of ruined that legacy between the Arsenal United rivalry, which I personally do miss. I used to look forward to that game like crazy. Every time I was like, Arsenal Tottenham, I grew up about it. I heard about the history, but Arsenal United was just special, like drama, Pizzagate, as we know, and lots of things. But sadly, that's gone now.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, as I said to you yesterday,
Yeah.
they're so short-sighted, Spurs fans. They would rather roll over and die and let City beat them and cost themselves 100 million plus by getting in the Champions League than they would, so obsessed with Arsenal. I mean, if I was thinking as a Spurs fan, I would be really angry like that, because my mentality as an Arsenal fan is that, you know what, you lot are idiots. If you had beaten City, right, and then we threw it away to Villa, you have got something to.
Oh.
Yes, what you're saying there is we handed it to you and you still threw it away.
I think it's worse than that. I think because you get most of a lot of Tottenham fans basically complaining about Levy, complaining about this. They don't invest in the club. They don't do this, that, and the other. They don't need to invest in the club. They don't need to. They don't need. Well, and they do, but they don't spend it wisely anyway. But they don't go the extra mile, and they don't need to. They just need to beat Arsenal. All you have to do is beat Arsenal.
Yeah,
If
keep
you
the
beat
fans
Arsenal,
happy, beat Arsenal.
or if you beat Arsenal, then the fans are happy. And it's
so
like,
weird.
what is that motivation? See, you're complaining about Levy. You, as a fan, in my opinion, are giving that board an out.
Yeah.
And you go, well, we beat Arsenal. What more do you want?
Yeah.
That's nothing.
We don't.
For me, that's nothing.
We don't have to do anything. We got your season goal. We don't have to win anything because we beat Arsenal.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to start ranting about them at some point, because me and Ash alluded to again last night how already they said in 2004 they were celebrating a fucking draw. I'll say right now. A draw
Yeah.
2004 to stay up, and then they told him, don't celebrate the title if you do win it. He's like, actually, I will, Actually, I will. And the thing is, it's still in this day and age, I do think I love Bergkamp. I love, say, Ian Wright. I love Ian Wright. Still, I think Henry had that swag, that proper arrogance that any footballer now, you put me in a position, maybe in middle, in Trafalgar Square, for example, Henry had the desire to basically feel what the fans feel like. You basically celebrate a frigging draw, and you still stay up, but you still want us to be there to not berate you, or even when they play Chelsea. Have you noticed how somehow Chelsea give it to them, yet still they put us in that bracket? Yeah, but we hate Arsenal. I think Chelsea hate them even more than we hate them, and they still come back at us. No, we hate Arsenal. Like, I used to have a client of mine. He literally goes to me, I do like you. Yes, you're Albanian. Yes, excuse me, I don't make it political. Forgive me for sounding political. And he said to me, I am Jewish. I've been little after Jewish people. That's fine. That I understand. But politically speaking, football side of things, I said to him, without the normal politics involved, I certainly do not like your club, because that's simply you guys have no class. I don't care where you're from. You understand?
Don't worry about the political thing. My dad is obviously Turkish Muslim. My mum is English, but she's Farsi Jewish descent. So my mum's Jewish, my dad's Muslim. So so trust me, it's it's a multicultural household, my one. But you're right though. You're 100% right. These they've just got literally no foresight. And I love, you said about Henri. Did you the thing I love about him, which I saw when he was on pitch side with some City players, and was it Jack Grealish start trying to give it to him about,
yes, it was Kyle Walker. It was Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker,
all day.
All day.
That's the one.
And they're going, he's going, in my prime. And they went, he went, all day.
I love it. I fucking love Henri.
I was waiting for him to say I could do it now.
To be fair, I reckon not an actual match, but I reckon he'd give him a bit of a hassle in training.
Yeah,
like, he's still got You know, we met him, my brother and myself and my mum, we met him in the Nike shop in Oxford Circus. And I'll never forget it because I just finished my first exam at uni, my first year. And I had the test paper in my bag, and it was the only piece of paper I had that like was blank on one side. And we went into Nike Town and we just won the double, and it was like the Invincible season. And my mum went, "There's Henri," and me and my brother were like, "Yeah." Well, at the time we were sponsored by Nike, and Henri was everywhere. Like every Arsenal player was in there. And me and my brother looked at each other like, "Yeah, mum, like of course you know he's sponsored by Nike." She went, "No, there's Thierry Henry." And when we looked up, he was stood literally right in front of us at the till with a security guard. And I was, what was I? I was 20. My brother was like 9, and I was like, right, he's out shopping. I'm not going to go up to him. This is before I could finish saying that to mum. My brother had walked over to him and gone, "I love you." And he was 9. He went, "No, I really love you. You're like my favourite player." And he was like, my brother was having a meltdown, and he sat down with him upstairs. I don't know if you've been to Nike Town. Upstairs, I don't know if it's still like that now. They used to have like a set of chair, like round stalls, and they used to have all the shoes up there. Well, he was sat upstairs with him for about 10-15 minutes talking to him about why he wears his football socks the way he does, you know, all this, like all these different things. And it was so nice, but it was really weird because the security guard went, "Oh, let them have a chat, I'll stay here." So me and my mum were like, "Hang on, is Thierry Henry babysitting my brother?" Like you know, like we literally was like, "Yeah, we'll come back in 15 minutes." It was so weird. It was like, yeah, the security guard went, "Yeah, he can stay here, it's all right." And I was like, Jesus
Wow.
Christ. But he was really, the only other time that something funny like that's happened is my brother chased Arsene Wenger's car down Avonall Road. And Arsene Wenger stopped, wound down the window, and said to him, "I will give you my autograph, but you cannot go chasing cars down the road." And he was about 10, he was about 10, 11 at the time, and he literally did chase his car. We couldn't stop him. I was like, "What? Mum, he's running down the road." And he went, "Yes, Mr. Wenger." "No, Mr. Wenger." It was like something like Kevin and Perry. "Yes, Miss Patterson." "No, Miss And then he wound up the window and drove off. My brother turned around and went, "What does he think? I chase cars like a dog? It's Arsene Wenger," right?
Yeah.
It's just, so
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a bit of a reason for it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not something I normally do.
Yeah.
I've only met one proper ex-footballer in my time, which I think I don't have the picture anyway. Because sadly, as you know, Sparks, my phone got nicked in May. But I think when I met Daniel Sturridge face to face, and I just came across him, and he's like to me, "Let me finish doing my shopping, and you can talk to me, take my photograph." I was sure, no problem. But he was so humble, so easygoing, and I'm sure for a fact he's got a bit of Arsenal love in him because you can see when he talks. I don't put him in the same bracket as Henri, but he talks sense. They just want to listen to him.
Yeah,
With his stories.
I think
Yeah.
he used to be an Arsenal fan, but I think when he played for Liverpool, I think he wasn't particularly an Arsenal fan. He's more a Liverpool fan, but there's obviously still undertones there, I guess.
Sounds a bit like Theo Walker then, who's a Liverpool fan, yet he would play for Arsenal, which makes no sense.
So
And other players.
Well,
Well,
the other day, my husband was driving down the road. We were going. In fact, he was taking me to a different train station to go to football, and he stopped very abruptly at the traffic lights. He looked at me. I looked at him, and we went, "Was that who I think it was running across the road, like actual like running, as in like jogging?" It was Dion Dublin. My husband nearly ran over Dion Dublin. So,
He does bargain hunt now, though. He does bargain
he's
hunt.
probably trying to buy a house.
Yeah, bargain hunt. He does bargain hunt, don't forget.
Does he do that as well?
Oh, does that now, does he?
I watch that as well. I don't know why. It's one of the afternoon things I like to watch.
I'd love to meet. I think the one player I'd love to meet is Ian Wright, but I probably would cry because I love Ian Wright. He's like he's not my favourite player, but he's my favourite Arsenal personality. Just
I've got
everything.
something to say about this as well. I've got something to say about this.
But I think my favourite player of sort of my sort of conscious era, if you like, is probably Dennis Bergkamp. He is definitely it's weird. Erdegaard reminds me of a mixture of Tony Adams and Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit,
yeah. I mean, really, the way he commands his presence on the pitch, but at the same time, don't drop the ball at his feet because he will do something damaging with it. And I think that is, I think there's definitely something about that. But I am going to have to go in a minute, lads. I've come in, steamrolled, taken over your show, and now I'm going. Do you know what I
Before
mean?
you
Don't
go,
ever let the woman on there.
Before you go, Aisha, I've got something in store, but I thought I'd keep it quiet. But I thought I'd just announce it on
Go
here
on
to Arsenal.
then.
So I hope it's genuine, from one of my supervisors who found the contact, but I've managed to get a 92-94 Adidas home jersey with Ian Wright's name and number, because I'm born in August. So I had to get number 8, special. And I went to school near Crystal Palace, so I guess it makes sense, because I'm a South London boy by nature, as you know, too. So I thought, why the hell not? I bought the Ian Wright, I hope again is not fake online. I bought the Ian Wright Anthem jacket, which wasn't cheap, but luckily I just managed to buy it last night. Hopefully again it's not in fake, because I mean the guy says there's a new with tags. So I'm like, bloody hell, man. He goes another £125 in the Arsenal bin, shall we say?
Yeah, my shirt's actually arrived yesterday. So
it did.
yeah,
I
fine.
got the black and white one as well, similar to this as well. I bought the new one.
Yeah,
As well.
I had a proper rare up at the at Arsenal Direct, and they were like, we're just classing as missing. I was like, well, surely you get some kind of notification to say it's been delivered, and it hasn't been delivered, has it? So you're asking me, how I feel about the order. Yeah, not great, mate. I'm not really very happy. So they said, "Oh, do you still want the order? Do you want the money back?" I was like, "I want what I paid for, please." And they were like, "Yeah, okay, subject to stock." I was like, "Yeah, I don't care where you get it from. I'll have what I ordered, please."
Yeah.
So I don't care. I don't care if you have to take it off a player's back.
I was but that was so frustrating when you were telling me in WhatsApp about that, because you told me about that the minute I got on the train going away from the shop, and I could have and if I'd have known, I could have said, "Oh, my friend's got this. This is their order number. Is there anything you can do?" Because to be fair, I will say a big shout out to the staff at Arsenal, because the shop, the stewards, they're always as helpful as they possibly can. I mean, when I broke my ankle and I was in there on a boot, those stewards were absolute diamonds about getting me in and out. And because I didn't start going back last season till November. And I went, it was the Burnley game, because I do a lot of stuff with the British Legion. I was like, I do not want to miss the Remembrance game. Like, it's the one game I want to go back for. And I was all right by then. I was much more like stable on my feet. And everyone helped me. The like I say, the people I sat with were amazing. One of the stewards even said to me, "If you need me to get you a drink at half time, just get my attention." And I thought that was amazing. But
I wear a boot every week.
I'll wear one every week. Yeah, I'll put on both feet. What will you get me then? Pitch side access? Yeah. So I do think that they probably would have been able to sort it out for you in the shop, but it's good you've got them anyway.
Yeah, they turned up. So it's one was the originals one as well. So I was quite keen to get that,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, they're all good, and in my possession now. So there we go. Well, we're going to wrap up now anyway, because we've kind of droned on enough and probably bored enough people, and there you go. So we're going to get a Friday night as well. So I don't know what you guys are up to. I'm going to have a beer.
Well, my parents are coming to stay for the weekend. My dad is my dad's already planned his Sunday, how I'm cooking him a dinner, and so
well, plug your channel while you're there. We might as well do that as well while you're there.
What now?
Yeah.
Well, you can find me on TikTok and on YouTube or under "We'll Sing It in the North Bank."
And put a comment in the actual stream as well, that people see it as well.
Yes, I will do that if I can, because don't forget I'm on my phone, so I don't know how to do that. It's really it's not giving me the option to put anything. So I'll have to so yeah, people just have to find me there, or if you've put a link on the actual video on Twitter, I'll just put my handles and everything in the link, so if people click on the link on there, you'll be able to find it. But yeah, that's where you can find me, or hanging around harassing these nice gentlemen on a stream and coming on and. I've done the rounds the last couple of days. I mean, poor people yesterday. They turned into like 2 different streams, and there was me. Hello.
The same here. We've been around the bush or something.
Just
Hi,
hiding.
hi again.
Hello, it's me.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello. Saying that though, when I was at the last home game. I will say that the Brighton game. Someone tapped me on the shoulder. I'm a moderator on a Facebook group, Arsenal group, and someone tapped me on the shoulder and went, "Hi, Aisha," and I looked up. I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know who this person is, but they know me." And then they went, "You're one of the mods on the Facebook group." And then he went, "It's like my name's so and so," and I was like, "Oh, hello." So you do bump into people all the time. So I'm expecting to get a bit more of that at the Emirates. Not that I'm famous or anything, just that I talk to a lot of people, so they'll recognise me.
That's all good. Bez hasn't got a channel at the moment, but yeah, thank you very much for being on
it. So much to do right now, but I'm on it, as we say.
Yeah, so you're going to be setting one up soon, I understand.
Trying to get a name in my head, but soon enough I'll let you know, and we can get few people on board, and who knows, I might just I can say the word collaborate, shall we say.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, I'm always up for stuff like that, so
Cool.
you know, I can always help you out. Aisha, you've got your YouTube channel up and running as well, so if you want to do that through as well.
Yeah, cool. Everyone, I mean, I'm going to start doing streams and stuff on my channel. I've got all my videos I've put together now of, like I said, I've been doing a lot of things like history of Arsenal Football Club. So I've got them all lined up. The sort of the week leading up to Remembrance, I'm going to do one every night of like a 10-minute video of each player that I found when I went out to France and Belgium in the summer. And I haven't even looked at the Second World War yet. And there's so many like other bits and pieces. And I just it's really interesting actually talking about the North London derby. It's really interesting looking at the sort of the history of that rivalry, because to an extent, when the further back you go, you actually start realizing a lot of this rivalry is contrived and hyped up by the corporations within the clubs, the media, and the fans themselves. Because back in the day, and by the way, Arsenal had moved by this point because they went to Highbury in 1913, so they were very clearly established in North London, that a lot of Arsenal players and Spurs players used to play for Middlesex cricket team in the summer. So they actually played with each other, and they even ended up fighting with each other because there was a Middlesex battalion that was known as the Footballers Battalion. So it's actually quite interesting that the rivalry is much more off the pitch than on the pitch. But now I think because of the way that it's been perceived, the history of it, that it's on both, off the pitch and on the pitch.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, I mean, we look forward to tuning into those anyway. So
Cool.
yeah, we can drop some links in there as well, so you can drop them on my Twitter and everything.
No problem. Thank you.
But yeah, appreciate both of you being on, and I hope you both have a great weekend.
You too. See you later, everyone.
Tomorrow, so see you.
Yeah, so yeah, we're just gonna do a quick outro, and when I find it.
Well, 3-1 to the Arsenal. Let me say that tomorrow on Sunday.
Oh yeah, so yeah. Do the score predictions. So yeah.
We both said 3-1 last night. I'm not changing it now. So 3-1.
No, I'm not changing it, and I still think they're going to score first. But we're going to
Yeah,
end up.
Don't tell Mark. Don't tell Mark that. If you tell Mark,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, don't.
Why?
Listen, my brother. Hold on
he
a
got
minute.
bless his heart. I love him to bits, but last night he got a bit ratioed. He said that it was going to be a clean sheet, and everyone else on there went no.
Okay.
I need to rewatch that segment again. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, it looks like quite a panel.
He kept on going on about William Wallace, and I was saying to him, "You want me to go and watch Braveheart? You want me to go and watch a historically inaccurate film? You're telling a historian to go and watch a historically inaccurate film to talk about your football club? I don't think that's going to work, mate."
Yeah, he
Yeah,
called William Saliba. He called William Saliba, William Wallace. I think he called Gabriel something
I
else.
think that's what he was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then when Brace said 2-1, how could you, Bray? Bro,
Yeah.
bro. I was like, come on, Mark, man. No, I'm not going to be on your side all the time. I love him, though,
nice,
still. He's a
nice.
great man.
Right. So yeah, all that we can say is please make sure you're liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing the stream, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
All right.